Hello, I'm Corporal Sean Benson, and welcome to On the Beat, brought to you by the men and women of the Baltimore County Police Department. This program brings you the latest information on public safety issues in our community and police department operations. In today's program, we'll be speaking with Sergeant Garry Leonard from our Youth and Community Services section about the police department's Joints program. Then we'll take a look at our Regional Auto Theft Task Force. And finally, we need your help in solving a murder. Hope that you enjoy the show. Stick. On the beat. On the beat. Juvenile delinquency and juvenile crime is a real challenge that we all face. In Baltimore County for 2018, juveniles made up over 40% of the total robbery arrests for the year and over a third of all arrests for vehicle theft. According to the Council of State Governments Justice Center information, in many states, 80% of the youth who are incarcerated are rearrested within 3 years of release. The Baltimore County Police Department has a program that aims at diverting young boys and girls from continuing to commit delinquent acts and to avoid the juvenile justice system. Here with us today to discuss the program, the Joints program, is Sergeant Garry Leonard from the Police Department's Youth and Community Services section. Thank you for being on the show today, Sergeant.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. And can you tell us first off what Joints stands for?
Joint stands for Juvenile Offenders in Need of Supervision. It's a restorative justice diversion program geared towards certain youth who are charged with some certain offenses.
Okay. And when did the Joints program start in Baltimore County?
1996, my predecessor, Dr. Mark Metzger, started the program.
Okay. And why was the program created?
His hope was to keep juveniles out of or becoming a permanent fixture in the juvenile justice system, and by doing so, he was using the practice of restorative justice where they would have an opportunity to atone for their misgivings.
Okay, and the target of the program is the threshold offender. Can you describe what who the threshold offender is?
A threshold offender would be a first-time misdemeanor who comes to our attention by being charged, and in doing so, they wish to take responsibility and atone for their act, and we will give them the opportunity to participate in the Joints program.
Okay, and is this person under the age of 18?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what are some of the goals of the Joints program?
There are several. The goal for the program would be, one would be to reduce the number of minority overrepresentation within juvenile justice system, to reduce the amount of recidivism by youthful offenders, to have the opportunity to atone and take responsibility for what they did, to have the victim participate in the program, either by receiving restitution if it's applicable, or to actually have a part in the program, victim witness statement, having a say in what happens. There is also the opportunity for the families to receive education and support if there's deemed the necessity that something needs to be addressed.
Okay, and the restitution, that doesn't have to go through court or anything?
No, it is an agreement that's made by the victim and the offender or the offender's family.
Okay, interesting. And community service plays an important role in the Joints program. Can you describe some of the activities that the participants have been involved in throughout the years?
Yes, there's many different available places that we use and we go to. First and foremost, the ability for the offender, the youngster, the juvenile, to sit side by side with a police department member. They can be sworn or they can be civilians, and to talk and to work together to accomplish whatever goal there is to be accomplished for that particular detail. That's good because they have an opportunity to have feedback, both positive and negative, to speak about their experiences. And in hearing about these experiences, the adult in that situation will be able to provide that juvenile with some feedback and some referrals or some resources. Where we have done these things before would be, we've been to many crisis centers. We've done the shock trauma, destructive decision-making course, some equestrian rehabilitation. We do, we adopt a family, or families rather, at holidays, during holidays. There is also homeless kitchens, and almost food drives where they're collecting canned goods.
Okay, so one of the benefits is the program is throughout the program, the participants have a relationship with the police officers who are part of the joins, correct?
Yes. Imagine that they're working together, cleaning a stream, working together at a kitchen, working together at a crisis center. The officer or the mentor is doing the exact same thing that the youth is, the juvenile is. And during this, it builds trust, it builds cooperation, there's collaboration. Many of these relationships are ongoing long after the program has ended.
Interesting. And can you talk about how the program is set up in Baltimore County?
In Baltimore County, there are currently 11 joins officers. There are 10 precincts. Every precinct has a joins officer. 2 of the 11 officers are actually assigned for specialized details. One would be what we call a recidivism reduction program, and the other one would be a youth advisory council.
Okay. And the joins officer screens the youths that come in for their eligibility. Can you explain what are the requirements to be eligible for the program?
First and foremost, the juvenile would need to be a Baltimore County resident. Secondly, it's going to need to be their first-time misdemeanor, or they would need to be a first-time misdemeanor. None of the crimes for which they are charged can be burning-based, animal cruelty-based, or sexually-based. There needs to be availability or the ability to pay restitution if it's so required. The victim has to take responsibility and say, yes, I would like the juvenile to participate in this program. Along the same lines, the juvenile has to take responsibility for what they've done and want to be or willing to take or make atonement for that.
Okay. Okay. And the Department of Juvenile Justice, what role do they play as a part of this program?
We have a good working relationship with DJS. It's more of an administrative relationship at this point. A lot of their caseworkers, most of their caseworkers have been placed in other assignments due to personnel shortages. We do work with them several times a month on evening juvenile curfew checks.
Okay. And what other kind of agencies get involved when juvenile referrals come into the joins program?
There are several other law enforcement agencies that do get involved with us. The MTA, UMBC, Towson for their students, the college students are not yet adults, being 18. And one of the bigger agencies that we deal with would be the Worcester County DJS down in Ocean City, where they funnel to us Baltimore County residents, youth who've been charged with alcohol and marijuana offenses, and that mostly occurs during senior week.
Interesting. So if the juvenile's charged with something in Ocean City, we can take care of the disposition of that case here.
It is a long-standing understanding and agreement that we would be able to handle those cases internally here in Baltimore County.
Okay, interesting. And just out of my curiosity, what happens to if I'm the juvenile and I'm a part of the program, do I have a record or some type of juvenile record as a result of being involved in the program?
No. Upon successful completion of our program, the charge itself is dismissed, being that it is never forwarded to DJS for any other prosecution.
Okay. And we don't want to publicly identify anybody that's involved in the program, but can you talk about some of the successes that we've seen through the years?
Absolutely. There are police officers, there are firefighters, military. We actually have a Navy pilot who's involved, nuclear operations officer on a submarine, some notable college and high school athletes. We have business professionals, we have medical professionals.
Okay. And can you talk about some of the officers that participate in the joins program? Is it an assignment that these officers enjoy being a part of, or what's some of the interactions that you get as the supervisor from the officers that are in the program?
It is a specialized assignment in that they all want to be here. They put applications in and gone through a process to be here. So yes, they all want to be here. Typically these officers all have juvenile backgrounds in terms of they were coaches, they were SROs, they have experience working with kids.
Okay. And then what's the Joins program interaction as far as our school systems? Are the Joins officers in touch with the SROs, our school resource officers, or some of the school administrators?
Yes, because there is 11 Joins officers. There's many more SROs who see these youth on a more regular basis, day to day. We see them at schools and we also visit them at home, but these officers, SROs or school resource officers, see these youngsters every day during class. So yes, we interact with school staff, administrators, and SROs on a regular basis.
Okay. And if I'm a parent and I'm interested in getting more information about the Joins program, what can I do?
There are several things a parent can do if interested. Baltimore County Police website will have every officer and every precinct to which they're assigned, along with an email address and a telephone number. Same goes for me. My name is listed as well with my phone number and my email address.
Okay. Thank you very much for being on the show today, and I appreciate it, and you gave us some great information.
Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. The Baltimore County Police Department is actively working with state and other agencies, as we heard, to divert our children from the juvenile justice system. We all need to realize that it is important to give the attention and necessary resources to allow our youth to succeed and to avoid criminal activity. If you would like more information about the Baltimore County Joins program, you can go to the Police Department's webpage under the Youth and Community section or call 410-887-5901. Next on the show, we will do a ride-along with our Baltimore Regional Auto Theft Task Force.